The miraculous migration. The Quraysh realized that if Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, found help and support in Yathrib, they'd now be facing a real political power in their opposition. So they held a secret meeting and they decided that there was only one thing they could do, and that was to kill Muhammad and end his religion once and for all. Clan loyalty was the honor code of the Arabs, so they knew if someone was to kill Muhammad, then the Banu Hashim clan, who were mostly Muslim, they would retaliate and they would seek revenge and use their alliances to create a civil war. To solve this dilemma, they decided to have one warrior from each clan take part in the killing of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. If each warrior from each clan deliberately stabbed him at the same time, the Hashim clan would not be able to seek revenge. They would only be able to seek the blood money. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, learned about this plot against his life, he headed straight for Abu Bakr's house. He told Abu Bakr that this is the time, and I have chosen you to be my companion on migration. Abu Bakr broke down into tears of joy. He was just amazed that the Prophet would choose him. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, told his cousin Ali, I want you to give some of the people who've entrusted me with some wealth and goods back to them, and then I need you to stay in my bed as though you're me tonight. So Ali stayed in his place, and he was instructed not to leave until he knew that the Prophet had migrated to Medina. At that time, a group of assassins started to gather, and they moved into different places around the house. And they hid in front of his house, waiting for him to leave for the night prayer, as he used to do every night. The Prophet had given Ali his cloak, so it looked like he was in there sleeping. By the end of the night, the Quraysh were about to attack. But then when they looked in, they realized that they had been tricked, and it was Ali in Muhammad's bed. The men quickly sounded alarms at what had happened, and the Quraysh started the largest manhunt in Arabia. They announced 100 camel reward to anyone who would bring Muhammad dead or alive. The Prophet and Abu Bakr decided to head in the direction opposite of Yathrib to avoid attention. They went into hiding for a few days in the Thawr cave. Some bounty hunters suspected a trick, and they headed out looking for them there. They arrived at the cave and they were looking around. Abu Bakr became very scared. He hears them and he nudges the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. We're going to be caught. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, whispered to him, what do you think of the safety of two people who are with God? A spider wove a large web over the front where they had entered from. And so when the group finally came down there, they saw this big web and they naturally assumed, well, nobody could be coming in and out of there because this web would not be there. And so they walked away. When they felt safe, they rode all night and most of the day. And they only rested whenever the hot sun was there. They put up a tent. And then one day they saw a man coming behind them. And this man was a tracker named Suraka bin Malik. As Suraka started to catch up, his horse started to stumble and he noticed the horse's feet are going down into the sand. And then he was thrown off. He got back up and this happened 2-3 times. And then he realized this is something supernatural, that this is a sign of God. God is protecting this man. Maybe he is who he says he is. So he called out, asking to meet with him, promising he has no harmful intentions. Abu Bakr was concerned, but the Prophet said, let him come. So he came and they met with him. And Suraka realized after listening to him and talking to him that this is indeed a messenger of God. So then Suraka said, give me something that one day I can join you and the people would know who I am. And so the Prophet had Abu Bakr write down on a piece of parchment, how would you feel if you were wearing the jewels of the Persian palace? Of course, Suraka took this and thought that that was just the craziest thing, but actually about 15-20 years later, he would actually wear the jewels of the Persian emperor after the Muslims had toppled their empire. On their journey, they went many days ahead, and they saw a Bedouin encampment, and there was a woman there, a very generous lady, known for hosting strangers. And she said, why don't you guys come in? And so they went in. They felt safe. The woman was a very nice lady. So as Abu Bakr and the Prophet are sitting there, they asked her, these sheep, is there any one of them that would have some milk? She said, no, we've taken them out, and unfortunately, none of them have recently given babies. So Prophet Muhammad said, well, what if I took that one right there and I was able to milk it with this bowl that we have? She said, go ahead. So as the Prophet said Bismillah, and he wiped over the udder of this goat and he started to pull and she saw the milk come out, and the milk came pouring, and all three of them drank to their full. And so, having their full, they went ahead and left out for Yathrib. As they arrived at the village outside of Yathrib called Quba, they saw a whole delegation of Muslims waiting there. The believers were just excited and they welcomed them warmly. And the Prophet told them, tomorrow we need to start building a mosque. We need to start building our community. So the Prophet worked with them for a few days and they built a mosque quarters. It's a matter of gathering some bricks and some rocks and putting them together and to develop the borders. So after they had fully built this first mosque, the Prophet then led them in their first Friday prayer.